This is Return to Tennis, guys. I'm Aaron. Thanks for returning. So, we've got some rackets today. We're going to try to get out and hit them. It's a little cold, a little overcast, but I think we can get them in today. I've had several frames I've been playing around with and hitting in drills. I've even played in matches with a couple of them, but I haven't filmed them yet. In addition to that, I've got some rackets that I kind of rescued from Play It Again Sports that, I saw them and they were at a good price and they were in really good condition. I'm like, yeah, I don't want some, kid to grab that racket up thinking it looks cool and then just beats the crap out of it, pretending to be Nick Kyrgios or something. So I liberated them. I saved them. I'm adopting them. They're mine now. We're gonna hit them today too. So let's get into it. Let me show you what we've got. So I love my Angel rackets, and I loved my K7 Lime. My only complaint that I had with the K7 Lime was it felt like the swing weight was a little low. So I decided, well, let's try something else. So I messaged Angel Rackets and I told them, I said, hey, I love your Custom 100. I have one. I love your K7 Lime. I've got that. But the K7 feels a little light in the swing weight. If I got a Custom 97 with these specs, what would the swing weight be? And the man himself, Paul Angel, the owner and designer, messaged me back and gave me an estimated swing weight on a frame with those specs. So we now have a Custom 97. We have not played this on the court yet, but we have hit it in drills. Very stable, extremely comfortable, of course. Really nice on volleys. I mean, volleys and touch, man, it feels good. We're going to hit this a little bit today on camera, let you guys get a peek. But we've got more. We've got a lot more, actually. Something else I've been playing with in matches, I've actually talked about playing it in matches. I recently got it, is a Head Speed, right? The Head Speed Pro. This is the Graphene 360 Pro. Scored it at Tennis Warehouse on sale, clearanced out. Knocked it down like 40% off, so I grabbed one before the black were all gone. Feels a lot like my Angel 100. It's very similar. It even sounds the same when the ball comes off the strings. It has the same sound. But there are some differences when it comes to comfort, control, and power. The Angel 100 is more comfortable. I was catching a lot of serves in the top of the hoop this past week. I played with this racket on the weekends, a couple matches. I was catching a lot of serves in the hoop, right at the top, and I could feel that vibration in my arm pretty quickly. It was starting to break my arm down. But the control with this frame is better than my Angel. The Angel has better comfort, the Angel has better power, but when it came to control, ball control and placement, this was a much better frame for me. We didn't win either of those matches. It has nothing to do with the frame. We played, one kid was pretty good. The other guy, we just played like absolute garbage. But we're going to get out, hit this a little bit more today. I put an overgrip on it to kind of boost the weight. It's about 331 grams with the dampener. So we're going to get out, swing out a little bit for you. But what else? Remember the head? Remember that head twin tube Radical Tour, the zebra paint job that I got from Play It Again Sports? It's one of my other videos for $30. Well, I was really curious then. I was right, because I've never owned a head racket, and that one hits so well. It's just a little heavy, but it hits so clean. Then it got me wondering, what did the original feel like? The original Head Radical Bumblebee at 107 square inches. What did it play like? So, eBay's bad. eBay's bad for me. We got one. Found this on eBay. It's in really good condition, actually. It has some scratching, some scuffing, but overall the frame is in pretty nice shape. We had to re-grip it. When we re-gripped it, we trimmed the grip as much as possible to try to bring the weight down, and we actually got the weight down below spec. It's actually spec'd out at about 347 grams. I've got it down to 342. So it's my grip. We've hit this in drills. It hits beautifully. Not quite as comfortable on the arm as the 1995 Radical Tour with the twin tube technology. That one was a little more comfortable on the arm, even though it was a little heavier. We're gonna get out and smack some with this today. But what else do we have? So, I was at Play It Again Sports. I was at the bank. I went to the bank, and there's a Play It Again Sports in the mall behind the bank, and I was like, you know what? Let's just see. You know, maybe there's something in there that I haven't seen yet. It's new. So we walked in. Oh, wait till you see these. Oh, come here. So, back. We walked in, and a couple things caught my eye. And the first thing that caught my eye was this. And what really caught my eye was the paint job. It's a gorgeous paint job. Normally, I wouldn't buy a Prince racket. I remember one of my very first, like my second video I made was about my racket history, and I left a racket off when I talked about that. And one time, for a very short period, I had a Prince Synergy, which was the Jennifer Capriati endorsed racket at the time. I hated it. I did not like it at all. I ended up selling it to a player on the girls' team. She loved it. But after that, I never hit another Prince racket. I never bought another Prince racket. But Prince has come a long way since then. They've introduced some kind of interesting frames that I'm looking at currently. And I saw this, and it was at a great price, and it's in actually really good condition. I think I paid $60 for this, maybe $70, maybe. So it's comparable to what I would have paid on eBay. I just didn't have to pay for shipping. It was part of a set. There were 4 of these. These were somebody's competition rackets. They had 4 of them on the rack. They were all pretty banged up. This one was in the best condition of the group. It is strung with a hybrid string setup. So this was somebody's legit playing racket. So I'm not sure what these strings are, but it is a shaped poly. I can see it's got a twist in the main strings. The cross strings look like a multi-filament. We're going to give it a swing. Let's see how it feels. I've not hit a Prince racket since that Synergy back in 1993. Or no, I'm sorry, I take that back, 1991. But that wasn't all they had. Somebody else had come in there and dumped their old competition rackets. And so what was there? What was sitting on the shelf? A Wilson Burn. I've heard a lot about these rackets. A lot of people are very much enjoyed these frames and had good things to say about them, but I'd never actually seen one. I'm thinking this is the 3rd version of the frame. A very stiff frame, like a 73 stiffness rating. I've never hit a racket this stiff. So we're going to give it a go. See how it feels today. I don't know what the strings are. They're older though. But if you look at the quality of the frame, I mean, very little in terms of scratch or nick damage on this frame. It's in great shape. So and of course there were several of these. This was the best one. This was the least damaged. And we grabbed it. It cost like $50. You know, so that's another nice little find. But I got one more thing. This one, I was really excited when I found this. You're not going to believe this. So the very first racket, if you watch my racket history video, the very first racket I ever owned, that I ever played with, that I got for Christmas, my freshman year of high school, was a Prokenix. Pre-strung, off the rack. It was probably like a $25 racket at the time. I was at a Play It Again Sports, thumbing through the rackets looking for a deal. And I came across this. This is the very first racket I ever owned when I played. Is a Prokenix graphite composite, 90 square inches. This is new old stock. Watch this. You ready? Plastic still on the handle. As a matter of fact, the original price tag is still here, but it's been peeled away. Still has the placard. 100% new old stock Prokenix Graphite Supreme 90 from like 1989. Of course, it's never been played. It's never been played. And I'm not going to play it. We're going to leave it as is. It is mint condition. It is perfect as it is. We are not going to restring this. We are not going to take this placard off and hit it. It's going to go into storage and stay there. I'm sure you're wondering, well, what about that grip under the plastic? What kind of shape is it in? It was leather, right? No synthetic back then. It was a leather grip. This racket is absolutely mint condition. So I just thought it was really cool that here we are. I'm back playing after my very first day of playing was in 1989, and I have the racket that I started with. I have a model that I played for my very first racket with the cover. What's it say inside the cover? It's got a little tag in here. What's it say? Oh, I think that's the inspector. Made in Taiwan. Made in Taiwan back then for this frame. Or at least the cover was. Mint condition. Back into storage it goes. But, you know, what a nice little piece of tennis history to stumble across. New old stock. So, we're going to get out. We're going to hit these other frames, though. We've got 5 on the lineup for today. We're going to get out swinging, hit some balls. A little chilly, a little cold, a little overcast, but still playable weather. Let's go. All right, guys, here we go. Starting off with the Angel Custom 97. Extremely stable, very comfortable frame. I like it on volleys. Feels really good on touch shots at the net. Backhands, I'm still kind of struggling. Like, I can hit backhands in, but I'm not able to hit that heavy kind of like driving backhand like I want. Other shots are just all right with it. Hitting forehands well. Once I get forehands dialed in, oh, that was ugly. Drives me crazy. Like, I got some balls in the bag. They're kind of dead balls. So, and it's easy to see which ones they are because they come out and there's like no bounce. That wasn't a bad one. There we go. Starting to figure it out. I really like how comfortable it is, how it feels. The forehands, once I get the forehands dialed in, it hits so clean, so controlled, so soft on the arm. Very smooth. So we're hitting each frame, hitting approximately 50 balls. Oh, that floated. Splitting them up between the forehand and the backhand side. This is strung with the strings that come from Angel. It's a hybrid setup. It's a spin poly hybrid set. It's pretty nice. I mean, it feels good. Not as comfortable as Witex, but it's producing some good strokes. Good response off the string bed. There was a good one. So yeah, I'm going to definitely be probably hitting this racket at drills this weekend. Maybe play it Saturday night. We'll see how it feels, but it feels good today. Nice little slice there. Oh, sent that one sailing. Again, a great racket from Angel. And I saw recently they were running sales on their K-Series rackets, so if you guys are interested in trying them out, you might now would be a good time. They had a price reduction on a lot of their stuff, so. Oh, that was bad. Dead ball. Gonna sent that one sailing. There we go. I really enjoyed hitting this today. I've been playing mostly 100 square inch rackets recently. This is the first time I've hit a 97, or or the first time I've hit less than 100 in probably about 3 weeks. And it was very comfortable and very clean today. I was very happy with it. But here in a moment, we're going to get a change up. We're going to switch over to the Head Speed Pro Graphene 360. All right, here we go. The Head Speed Pro Graphene 360. Was hitting decent with this. It's just something about the frame. It doesn't handle mishits as well as my Angel frames. Hits very solid. Has kind of a pingy sound to the frame itself.
If you're not hitting it dead center, right in the middle of the sweet spot, you're going to know pretty quick because you can just, it sounds completely different. You do get a little bit of vibration in the frame. I don't know. But like I said, it does sound very similar to my Angel 100. My Angel 100 makes a similar sound. So in a sense, it kind of helps. Like you'll know immediately if you hit the center of the sweet spot because the sound as it comes off is a little different. Almost like, it's weird. It's kind of like a pingy kind of metallic sound. Definitely not as comfortable though. I mean, the control is good. The plow through's good. But the slightest little off put, you can kind of feel some vibration in the frame. I played, I think, 2 matches with it last week. I played decently well with it. I can't seem to serve as big with the Speed Pro as I do with my other rackets. I got excellent control. I was getting some nice serves in, but I didn't seem to get the same kind of pop on the serve that I do for my others. But all in all, it's a good frame. I mean, I do enjoy it. Super dead ball. I noticed I was hitting really good in my matches. I was hitting really good slice shots with this. Very nice, controlled, driving, deep slice balls. A lot of spin. I mean, good frame. Good frame. Like right there, I'm getting huge topspin on this. It's strung with Vocal Cyclone Anthracite, which is supposed to be a softer poly of the Vocals Cyclone series. But I was getting some huge topspin and slice out of this racket and this string. Just really driving through the ball. That one, yeah, I drove that one right into the fence. That one's out the back of the court too. I didn't really feel like I could hit like driving backhands with this one either. I think eventually I kind of do get them dialed in a little bit where I can really start cranking them. But it takes me a minute to kind of figure it out with this frame. See, that ball cleared the net pretty high, but it dropped in. I'm getting big topspin out of this string in this frame. All right, moving on to the. This is the Prince Tour 100 Pro. Weighed out at about 323 grams. It's strung with some kind of hybrid setup in the strings. Not sure what it is. It's what it was in it when I picked it up. Backhands, forget about it. I could not get backhands under control with this frame. Towards the end, I start to get a feel for them where I start to hit some decent ones. But I really struggled with backhands with this racket. And one-handed backhands were a completely different problem. Like, just couldn't get it straightened out. Almost every one-handed backhand I hit, I sent flying into the back court. Oh. Well, there it is. I'm surprised we made it that long before the machine jammed up. Intermission. Machine is not running. It's on, it's just not feeding any balls in. Get it straightened out and get back on it. Other issues I had with the Prince frame, and I don't know, maybe it was due to the weight, it didn't feel as stable. It seemed to lack some stability. It had a little bit of vibration going on in the frame itself. And I actually had it kind of twist in my hand a couple times off of backhands. Just doesn't feel like it has the stability of the more modern frames. This frame's about a 2013 model, and it just didn't have the stability that I would hope for. But I did like it on forehands. I actually hit some really nice forehands towards the end, some really clean ones. There was one, and it took me a minute to get it dialed in a little bit, but once I did, see, that was another nice one. Just came through the air very effortlessly to drive those balls through. But backhands were a bit of a different story. But I was able to find a groove with it on forehands. There's another one. And just really kind of just start popping them through. It helped if I got some live balls and not dead ones. Now the backhands are starting to come around with this frame. There's another good one. We'll watch here. I'll probably switch to a one-handed backhand here in a moment. And you'll see, I just sent every one-handed backhand I hit, I think I sent it flying, hitting this Prince frame. There it goes. That's out the back of the court. There's another one into the fence. For some reason, I could not hit one-handed backhands at all with this racket, but forehands felt pretty good. I really enjoyed it on forehands, actually, despite its weight. Just a nice, steady, smooth swing through. Felt pretty good to do today. I actually had a lot of success with a nice, just even swing with a lot of the rackets that I hit today, so I was pretty pleased with overall how the hit went. Here in a moment, though, we are going to switch it out. We've got two left, the Wilson Burn and the Head Radical Tour, the Bumblebee. I'm saving the Bumblebee for last. It is the heaviest, so I didn't want to stress my arm too early. See, just two-handed backhands, not too bad. They started to come in. That was a good one there. In forehands, I mean, we're nice with this racket. Really surprised. Kind of changes my impression of Prince as a brand. You know, because my only exposure prior to this was what I had back, you know, when I was in high school in 1990. All right, we're going to get a switch out here. We now have the Wilson Burn. This, I think, version 3. Super stiff. This thing's like 73 RA. But I hit it out the gate. I was hitting it pretty well, especially on backhands and on forehands, to be honest. I mean, it hit really solid. Very controlled. Nice plow through. This one also weighed out at 323 grams. I couldn't even make a guess as to what the strings are. They seem old and cheap. It hit well. Even one-handed backhands, I was able to kind of get some of those going with the Burn. And forehands, like, almost immediately felt solid. It was a nice hit. I can see why this was a popular racket. A lot of people still talk about how much they preferred the Burn to the current replacement, which is, I believe, the Wilson Clash. I think the Burn got kind of eliminated as a line, and the Clash was kept. But it's nice. It's a little too stiff. I've gotten a little more used to more flexible frames now, and this is the stiffest frame I've ever hit. I don't mind it, but I can tell it's just really a stiff frame by comparison. But it hit really nicely. I was kind of surprised. Not that ball, though. Maybe not that one either. That was a good one. once I got a feel for the racket, I hit, even though the strings were old and a little loose, I hit some really nice shots with this racket. Got a nice rhythm going with the forehand and just consistent, on target. Just an overall a very nice frame. I'm impressed. I can see why people have such an affinity for this frame and are kind of nostalgic about it and miss it. It was a good hit. That ball. Yeah, see, that's that one-handed backhand. That one I sent flying. There we go. I like the two-handed. But this was honestly a fun hit for me. I enjoyed it. Neither the Prince or the Wilson is going to find its way into my bag. They're decent, but they're not that decent. They're between the two of them. I'd say the Wilson is probably a little bit better in terms of comfort and control. But even then, not good enough to get in. And now, we're on to our final racket for the day. It is the Head Radical Tour 1993, the Bumblebee edition. The original. Man, this racket hits nice. Not as comfortable as the 95 Radical Tour with the twin tube technology. The zebra paint job. That one is equal to this. I would say that it is equal in its capabilities, but the Zebra 95 edition is more comfortable than this one. There's a bit more vibration dampening technology in that frame, and it did feel better overall. But this one hits really nice. You'll notice I don't really start hitting balls into the net with this frame until I really start trying to crank some of them. As long as I'm just hitting steady, I hit every ball over. Every ball I hit with this frame, if I was just hitting it steady, was over and in the court. It was crazy. It was the most consistent frame that I hit. Unfortunately, it's a bit too heavy for me to be playing anything long-term with. I restrung it when I got it with Technofibers Red Code at 58 pounds, and it hits wonderfully. It really hits nice. Overall, I really enjoyed this frame. Out of all of them, I would have to say for today, the winner for me is the Angel 97. It hit the most comfortable. I was fairly consistent with it, and it just felt really good. Second would be this one. The Radical Tour is definitely going to take the second spot out of today. The Head Speed would be third. But just the overall feel of the Radical Tour is so good. But the weight is what is going to keep me from playing this frame. I probably will keep it in the bag for a little bit, though, to play with once in a while, maybe in drills. But the weight of it is just, it's too much. Especially anytime I attempt one-handed backhands. Set that one a little long. But that's all we got for today, guys. Got out, hit these frames that have been rescued and found on discounts and sales. Hit them a little bit for you. Trying to give our thoughts. We're going to be trying to finish out some more racket content before the end of the year, provided the weather kind of stays like it is. But in the meantime, if you're in one, swing and a miss. I don't want to scratch. I didn't want to scratch it on the ground. In the meantime, if you're in the climate zone that I am, I fully encourage you to get out and take advantage of any days we have left that will allow us to be out and on the courts, because winter will be here soon enough and will be restricted to indoor play only. So with that, guys, thank you for coming in and stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. May all your returns be for winners, and we will be returning you to your regularly scheduled program.